Hello! You want to know some more art tips? Okay. First, use that pencil, press slightly, and don't press too dark. You don't want it to show through, especially if you're doing a light painting. If it's dark, like dark colors like purple and black, it really doesn't matter if you do it too dark. But try and make it to where you just have a light outline, because that's exactly what Leonardo da Vinci did. He did it light. He didn't do it like super dark like you're trying to eat through the canvas with the pencil. Yeah, just do it very lightly. Keep an eraser around so that way you can critique it to get it exactly the way you want it. And then when you get it exactly the way you want it, then you'll be able to get it to your liking. And then how I do it is with painting, I do multiple layers to give it the shade, and always keep a lot of water around, because that way I'll be able to break down the paint when you whisk it around in your cup. You don't want to have too much paint on the brush too, because if you glob it on there, it's going to smear too much. It's going to be like a delicate balance. You gotta be like in between, not dry, but you know, halfway in between, moist, but not overbearing it because of glob. You don't glob paint on a thing unless if you're doing that style of art. So, let me think. Oh yeah, some tips on color pencils. On color pencils, get your graphite. Draw out the idea you want, do it light, keep an eraser around, make sure that you're able to get it just right. You want to be able to make sure that really pops before you start doing it. Someone will say, oh wow, that looks amazing as it is right now, and you're like, nope, it's got to be better. And that's what you got to be as an artist. You always got to try and improve your artwork. You can't settle down on just accepting it as it is, because if you accept it as it is, you'll never progress as an artist. So, what did we learn today? Pencils. You always have to make sure that you press light, not like so light you can't see it, but you know what I'm saying, right in between, but not too strong. You gotta be able to really feel out what you're doing. You gotta really grasp the idea of what you're doing, and don't try and force the art. If you force the art, then people will know that, hey, this doesn't feel organic. This guy was just forcing it out. Nah, so what you gotta do is just take time, you know, work on it. Art is a delicate lady. You take your time with her. You don't rush it. So, yep. Also, with oil. Oh my gosh. Oil paint is a pain in the butt. Some people say, well, it has such a beautiful texture. Yes, it does. But blending it is very troublesome because you have to let it completely dry. And then you also got to use, I think it's turpentine. Yeah. Linseed oil too. So you gotta blend that just right. If you do it wrong, or if you do it just one bit wrong, what's gonna happen is it's gonna start globbing and lifting. So it's very, very hard to work with. I wouldn't recommend oil paint for a beginner, especially children. If you give children oil paint, you're gonna regret it, especially if you have white carpet, because that stuff is gonna be hard as hell to get out. Especially if you get a hold of a tube of black or brown. People will come to your house and be like, what the heck is that? Pointing at the floor, there's like a brown stain on the ground. So yeah, you got to just, you know, keep an eye on your kids when they're painting as well. I recommend when starting with children when they're young, encourage them. encourage them to do stuff, enter them into art contests, and work with them. Because that's the only way they're going to get better, is if you work with them. If you don't work with them, what's going to happen is they're going to not progress as artists. So some it's a natural given thing, but when you're in school, there's art classes already, so take advantage of that. Make sure that if they like art, make sure that that's their extra curriculum, so that way they can do what I did in high school. In high school, I took 2 art semesters, and that's how I was able to get even better and better. I haven't done this in ages, but I don't recommend doing this until at least your kids are like 13 or 15 to teach them engraven, because engraven involves chisels and knives, and you don't want someone that's young and, you know, I guess I would say foolish with any sharp utensils. So when they're older, let them try sculpting. But I think the best thing for kids, honestly, would be color pencil. Because acrylic, if that gets on your couch, you're going to be very, very, very pissed. So, yeah.